Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. Well, I've had a nice relaxing few days break up in the Norfolk countryside this week, and getting back this morning I thought I'd get a quick upload out on my thoughts of the big reveals from yesterday. And when I say big, I'm talking literally here. So let's waste no time and just jump straight in. As usual, if you missed the live stream, like me, all the reveals and information we need to see is over on the Warhammer community website. So head over there to check them out for yourself, as I'm going to do right now. Now, I'm not going to beat around the bush here. Fulgrim. Just look at this model. Man. This just absolutely blew me away when I saw this. Look at the detail on this sculpt. The intricate paneling of the armor coming up the body. The demon-esque eyes there. Even the hair and the look on his face. I only got to see this on my phone yesterday, so seeing it now on a proper screen just makes it even more impressive. I can't imagine how good it's going to look in person. The detailing here on the rear shots, the flayed faces attached to the cloak, the scales on the body. Again, as we always say for these reveals, absolute props to the painter as well here. This is an absolute sublime paint job, one I could only dream of. And the size of the model too, I mean, look at the sheer scope of the wingspan. This has got to be absolutely ginormous. I'd be interested to see how this compares to Magnus's model for size comparison. Maybe it's just the picture, it's hard to tell without anything else for scale. But again, the wings just seem absolutely huge. This is going to dominate the display shelf. Honestly, the only bad thing about this is it's just for the Heresy era, not his model for 40k. However, I believe that is supposed to be represented in the way he looks. As you can see here, there's still, maybe surprising to some, a lot of human elements to Fulgrim. Not quite as demon-fired as, say, the latest Angron model we received. But again, I believe that will come with the eventual 40k release. However, given we're only just getting this for the Heresy, for me that makes me think 40k Fulgrim is a long way away. But honestly, this Phoenician is good enough for me. It makes me want a 40k Emperor's Children range release even more. But overall, Fulgrim, just absolutely stunning. There's not really anything else I can say. Now, with that out the way, on to the 40k Space Marine reveals. And here we've got a lot of updating for some of the older school models in the existing range. First up, the Terminators, the real unit release of the set build we saw in the Leviathan box. Now you'll get to customize your Terminators as you see fit. I've said it before, but I'm a huge fan of the Terminators. For me, they are the classic 40k unit. It's nice to see the chain fists making a return. I'm not sure if the blade itself is a little longer than it used to be there, but it feels like it may be, or it just could be the screenshot perhaps. Either way, it's good to see them, and the classic Cyclone missile launcher and heavy flamer. On a side note, nice to see the White Scars getting a little spotlight here too. Very rarely do you ever see Terminator White Scars. However, overall, not much I can say here I didn't say for the first Terminator reveal, but the extra options and the choices are of course great to see. Next, a nice update from the old with the new Terminator Chaplain. A pretty standard pose here, but again honouring that old model. I think I'd definitely go for the helm on option as I usually do, but it's nice to be given a choice. I always appreciate that. And the same for the Stormbolter or Shield. It makes the chaplain a possibility for adding to the standard Terminator squad or the future Assault Terminator update, which hopefully isn't too far away. Maybe a release when the Blood Angels Codex rolls around in this edition? Hopeful thinking on my part maybe, but that would definitely be nice. There's some nice detailing on the armour here, the studs on the armour, the ribs on the chest piece. The shield feels quite similar to the Captain's shield in the Indomitus box set I think it was, but that's not a bad thing. Probably going to be used in some interesting conversions, I wouldn't be surprised. I think overall if it's not broke, don't try and fix it, and that fits this chaplain update perfectly. A much needed update without tinkering with the model too much. And lastly here, the Terminator Captain. Now on the face of it, I don't think this is immediately striking as the Terminator Captain from Leviathan, the Captain Againman if you will. However, it's those options that save the day here. Not only is this guy coming with an array of head options, which will be great for fitting into specific chapters and lineages, but they've even made the tabard optional, and that is a huge win for me, because personally I think some chapters seem better without them, especially on the big old chunky Terminator suits. The Iron Hand here is the perfect example. For me, they don't strike me as a chapter that would often be adorning their armour in tabards. Again, it's a personal choice, but it's great that you're given the option here. And it says here in the description you've got options for the Stormbolter or Combi Weapon, the Relic Sword or the Relic Fist. I like this a lot, the more options the better. I would have liked to have seen a picture here with the helm on, but I guess we all know what that looks like. Overall, no huge surprises with the Terminators, a win and a tick in every column. I don't really think you could have asked for much else. Moving on, we've got the much anticipated and wished for Assault Squad update, with the Jump Pack Intercessors. I am a little curious how these guys are going to work with the existing Assault Intercessor squad, as I think at least personally I'd favour Jump Packs every time. Get them into the heat of the action even quicker. And these guys look great. Really nice. The classic chainsword and bolt pistol. I like the extra gear they're carrying around their waists here as well. Almost a bit like a Batman utility belt, but you can see the grenades for example, it's just nice little small touches. That weight of movement added to them, but not overdone. A little elevation with the use of the stones, but again not too much. I know they're technically fulfilling a different role, but they're a huge improvement over the Inceptors for me. And that's what I want to see. The Blood Angels. The go-to for this squad. There's just something about the Blood Angels assault troops that just makes them feel that bit more iconic. That classic yellow helm, the red armour. Saying that, the Raven Guard one looks pretty sweet too. Now the gap between the backpack and the Angel's shoulders here is a little unexpected. I'm curious how that would look in a 360. You don't get that impression in any of the other pictures, so yeah, I'm a bit curious about that. I wasn't expecting to see that. I'll definitely be interested to see how that looks from the rear, how the backpack is actually connected to the Marine. Now this captain looks absolutely legit. That is a really nice model. It looks like he's got a bit of extra height over the squad as well, so he'll probably stand out over them, which is what you want for your captain. The ornamented chainsword, the flowing cape, like a gust of wind as he's launching forward. Yeah, Fulgrim aside, I think this is probably my standout sculpt so far. I definitely like this guy, really nice again. The classic Blood Angel here again too. See, the Power Fist doesn't have quite the same impact as the Chainsword for me, but again it's good to have the options. The details of that head sculpt is pretty sweet as well. This guy looks like he could be a new Captain Carleon alternative almost. The blonde hair, the bionic eye, definitely working for me here. I know he's dead in lore, but every time we get these new awesome reveals in Blood Angel schemes, it just makes me long for an updated Captain Tycho, in Primaris scale. The detailing here they can do with the heads these days, it would just make him look absolutely stunning. Maybe mirroring that iconic artwork, with his foot up on the rock, the combi weapon down. I can dream, I can dream. Maybe we'll get it one day as a kind of legacy model. But again, I definitely would want him to be Primaris scale so he fits in with all these new releases. But okay, on to the rest of the old range update as I'm calling it. We've got the new codex and the new company heroes. The banner bearer here is immediately grabbing my attention. Straight away I could see him painted up as a Black Templar. That frown on the head there is definitely on point. He's nice, he's very nice. Definitely the first thing about this squad that's grabbing my attention. The bionic arm on the veteran here too, a nice touch. And then we've got the champion, the captain, the two veterans. Again, not too much I can say about these guys. A nice update and scale up. A nice few details. But largely just an improvement over the old. Honouring those old models but bringing them into the new scale. The Dark Angel colour scheme making him pop a little more here. Again, a close-up of this head, you can really see how the head sculpts have improved now. It's almost a shame, but I generally prefer to have my models with helms on. There's a nice flow of movement there, the tabard, the cloak, the seals, all swaying out in the same direction, aimed with the pointing of the hand, giving it all a nice little balance to the model. These are nice, again, not much I can say, but just a nice update, honouring the old but bringing them into the future. Okay, moving on, we've got the Stern Guard, and the return of a banner on the backpack. Nice little retro touch. You remember the days when that used to be a sticker? All you old school fans out there like me. These are nice, again, not much you can do with the Stern Guard really. Pretty similar to the Leviathan squad of course, just a few additions and extra details. I've said it before, but I've always kind of liked that ultramarine white and blue scheme for the veterans. Always kind of feel a bit retro for me. Oh, now the Crimson Fist, that is nice. I am so tempted to go Crimson Fists with all the models I've got waiting around in boxes to be done. I do like that chapter. I'm kind of torn at the moment between Crimson Fists, Black Templars or Blood Angels. But yeah, that Crimson Fist, definitely nice. And then moving on, last but by no means least, we've got the Scouts. All new and improved. It almost feels a little strange not seeing those kind of squat, bulky scout models that we've had for so many years now. It's going to take a little getting used to with these guys, I think. I like them, I do like them. I'm liking the Sergeant with the beard. The Raven Guard, the Heavy Bolter, the Rocket Launcher. We've got the Sniper. Seems to be all combined into one scout squad this time rather than having two separate. The Raven Guard scheme again, definitely making them look pretty sweet. Raven Guard seem to be getting quite a lot of attention in this reveal, it's nice to see. And I get it, I definitely get it, their colour scheme of the black always makes the models look sharp. It's been a long while since I've played the tabletop, so I am quite interested to know in what situation you'd place scouts over reavers and vice versa. It seems like they kind of feel a very similar role. But again, like I said, I'm not particularly knowledgeable on the rules. I'm hoping to play some 10th, but it's been a long time since I've really been able to play the tabletop. However, that's it for the 40k reveals. I do advise you to go over and check out the full showcase of reveals if you haven't already, because there's tons for Age of Sigmar, Warcry, Blood Bowl, Horus Heresy, and all sorts, like these beautiful new Mark III updates for the Heresy. One final thing I do want to touch on though before we go is you know by now I love me some Bretonia. And just look at this beauty. Elise Ducard is that, or Duchard? What an absolutely beautiful model. I'm assuming pretty much this new time era's version for the Fae Enchantress. This gorgeous resin miniature can trace its noble lineage back to previous Grail damsels from Warhammer Fantasy. So yep, pretty much this era's Fae Enchantress. Just absolutely stunning. I spent an hour chatting about these reveals with my mate Swan on the phone yesterday, when I was still supposed to be on holiday, so that didn't go down too well with the missus. But we spent most of it talking about this, both old school fans of the old world. I am wondering how this will fit in next to the old plastic knights, as it looks supremely detailed. But assuming it does and will, this is going to be an absolutely standout centerpiece. Makes me even more excited to see what the new king is going to look like. Because again, just in case anyone doesn't know, the returning Warhammer Fantasy is going to be set in an earlier time period than the previous edition. So we're going to be getting a lot of new characters we've never seen before. But if this is anything to go by, I can't wait to see what they come up with next. However, anyway, that's it for today. Head over to the community website to check out all the reveals for yourself if you haven't. As always, drop your thoughts on them in the comments below. Huge thank you as always to all of my subscribers. If you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.